On Earth, the average human can jump about 50 centimeters. We're going to use this average jump height to see how high you could jump on different planets. From low to high. 1. The Sun. The Sun holds 99.86% of the entire mass of our system. Imagine standing on a heat-resistant platform right on the photosphere. The gravity here is so brutal it would instantly force you to your knees. You'd weigh 28 times your normal body weight. If you weigh 75 kilos, that now feels like over 2 tons. Your skeleton would collapse immediately under this load. Even if you somehow managed to activate your muscles, you'd only lift yourself a laughable 1.8 centimeters off the ground. The jump would be shorter than the blink of an eye, though this is purely academic. At 5,500 degrees Celsius, and with that enormous radiation pressure, you'd sublimate into plasma before your brain could even send the signal to jump. 2. Jupiter. Jupiter is so massive that it's essentially a failed star. Since there's no solid ground, we're standing on a platform floating in its sea of clouds. Here, gravity is 2.5 times stronger than on Earth. It feels like having 2 full-grown adults sitting on your back permanently. Just standing up is a battle against physics. If you gather every ounce of strength, you'll manage just 20 centimeters. The landing is extremely hard and absolutely brutal on your joints. And while you're struggling, the magnetosphere's deadly radiation would grill you within seconds. Deep below you, the pressure gets so intense that hydrogen is pressed into a liquid metal, a fascinating place to die. If you like what you see so far, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. 3. Neptune. Way out in the solar system, we find Neptune. It glows deep blue because of the methane in its atmosphere. It's dark and cold here. Interestingly, the gravity isn't as extreme as you'd expect from a giant. It's only about 14% stronger than on Earth. You'd feel heavy and sluggish, but you could move. A jump would get you about 44 centimeters high. It's exhausting, but doable. The problem here isn't the gravity, it's the weather. Neptune has the fastest winds in the entire solar system. They whip around the planet at 2,100 kilometers per hour. That is supersonic speed. As soon as you leave the ground, these winds would grab you and shred you while the cold finishes the job. 4. Saturn. Saturn is huge, but it's a bit of a lightweight. Even though it's 95 times heavier than Earth, it's made of such light material that it would actually float in a gigantic bathtub. This leads to a weird effect. The gravity at its cloud tops is almost identical to Earth's. You weigh only about 7% more here than at home. If you jump, you'll reach 47 centimeters. Your body awareness would be almost normal. You could almost forget where you are if it weren't for the toxic atmosphere and the crushing pressure slowly squeezing the life out of you. But for a brief moment, you could enjoy the view of the spectacular rings made of billions of ice particles. 5. Earth. We're making a quick pit stop. Yes, we're back on Earth. Why? Because we rank exactly here in terms of jump height. Our home planet slots in right between the giant Saturn and our next stop. With our 50-centimeter jump height, we are right in the middle of the gravity scale. It's the only place with liquid water on the surface and plate tectonics. A paradise compared to what's coming next. From here on out, every jump gets higher and every world gets weirder. We are leaving the high-gravity zone and entering worlds where we get to feel like superheroes. 6. Venus. Venus is often called Earth's twin, but that is a nasty understatement. The gravity here is about 90% of what you're used to, so you feel noticeably lighter and fitter. A jump propels you 55 centimeters into the air, but the movement feels wrong. The atmosphere is so incredibly dense that it feels like moving through water. The air resistance breaks every move you make. And while you're performing this sluggish jump, the air pressure crushes you with the force of being 900 meters underwater. Add to that 462 degrees Celsius heat and rain made of sulfuric acid. 7. Uranus. Uranus is the weird uncle of the ice giants. It basically rolls around the sun on its side because its axis is tilted by almost 98 degrees. This creates seasons that last for 21 years. On our platform in the atmosphere, you feel similar to how you would on Venus or Earth. Movements are fluid, and a jump gets you 56 centimeters high. But Uranus is the coldest of all the planets. At minus 224 degrees Celsius, you're flash frozen before your feet even leave the platform. There's no internal heat source here like with the other giants. It's just a cold, dead blue place where you end up as an ice sculpture. 8. Mercury. Now we're landing on solid ground. Mercury is small, but extremely dense because it has a huge iron core. It looks like our moon, but is much more massive. This is where the fun begins. The gravity is so low, you feel like you're on a slow-motion trampoline. You push off and sail 1.32 meters into the air. The flight phase lasts almost 1.7 seconds because Mercury has no atmosphere to distribute the heat. If you jump on the day side, you incinerate at 430 degrees. Jump in the shadow on the night side, and you freeze instantly at minus 180 degrees. It's a dance between fire and ice. 9. Mars. Mars is our great hope for the future, and physically very similar to Mercury. Here too, you jump 1.32 meters high and have almost 2 seconds of airtime. Walking on Mars would probably quickly evolve into a loping stride because it's energetically much more efficient than normal running. You could make huge bounds over the red dunes. But be careful, the atmosphere is razor thin. The pressure is so low it's below the so-called Armstrong limit. That means your body fluids, like saliva and tears, would instantly start to boil at body temperature. So while you're admiring Olympus Mons, the highest volcano in the solar system, your blood is literally boiling in your veins. Before we move on, I want to give a quick shout out to my supporters. You guys honestly make videos like this possible. Also, do you want to help decide what the next video is about? Supporting the channel gives you a vote on future topics, so you can have your say. There is more information on how you can support in the description below. 10. Io. Welcome to Io, the pizza moon of Jupiter. Volcanoes are spewing sulfur into the sky everywhere. The surface is yellow and orange. The gravity is delightfully low. You can easily clear 2.73 meters from a standing start here. You're airborne for almost 3.5 seconds. But Io is the most dangerous solid place you can visit. You are right in the middle of one of Jupiter's radiation belts. While you're enjoying your record jump, a dose of 36 sieverts per day is shredding your DNA. You'd be dead within 2 hours. Io is constantly needed by the tidal forces of Jupiter and the other moons, keeping its interior liquid. 11. The Moon. We've actually been here before. The Moon. You know the footage of the Apollo astronauts. They hop around strangely. That's because their mass, and therefore their inertia, remains the same, but their weight is much lower. Braking is difficult. If you really go for it, you can get over 3 meters high here. However, an invisible danger lurks here. Moon dust. It's razor sharp, like ground glass, because there's no wind to grind it down. It destroys seals and eats up your lungs if you breathe it in. And of course, there's a vacuum. Without a spacesuit, the fun is over immediately. 12. Ganymede. Ganymede is the boss of the moons. It's actually the largest moon in the entire solar system, even bigger than the planet Mercury. It's the only moon with its own magnetic field, which makes it a bit special. The surface is a mix of very old dark rock and younger bright ice. A jump sends you 3.43 meters into the air. You have 4.4 seconds to enjoy the view. The radiation here is lower than on Io, but still dangerous. Without massive shielding, you'd die of radiation sickness after about 2 months. But for a short vacation with lead underwear, it would be a spectacular experience. And if you happen to see a blue police box, the Doctor fought Daleks here back in the 60s. 13. Titan. Now it gets magical. Titan is the only moon with a dense atmosphere. It's actually 50% denser than Earth's and orange in color. It rains liquid methane here and there are entire lakes of natural gas. The combination of low gravity and thick air allows for something incredible. If you strapped wings to your arms, you could fly here under your own muscle power like a bird. A normal jump gets you 3.63 meters high, but swimming through the air would be much more exciting. The only problem is the minus 179 degrees. Without a very good heater, you'd freeze into a block of ice mid-flight. 14. Europa. Europa, a moon of Jupiter, is a gigantic, mirror-smooth ball of ice. Underneath, we suspect an ocean containing more water than all of Earth's seas combined. The surface is extremely slippery, making the takeoff difficult. If you find grip, you jump 3.73 meters high. The radiation coming from Jupiter is extremely intense. 5.4 sieverts per day means you're dead after 24 hours. Your body would dissolve internally while you try not to slip on the ice. But the hope that alien life is swimming in the ocean beneath you might make the thought a little more bearable. 15. Callisto. Callisto is the most boring but safest of the large Jovian moons. Its surface is ancient and covered in craters. These are the accumulated scars of billions of years of comet and asteroid impacts, mostly from the chaotic early days of the solar system. Since Callisto is geologically completely dead and there are no volcanoes or shifting plates, nothing has ever been paved over, so every impact remains visible for eternity. On the upside, it's far enough from Jupiter to be out of the deadliest radiation. On Callisto, you jump almost 4 meters high. You have 5 seconds of flight time. Only the cold and the vacuum are your enemies here, but we're used to that by now. I'd be really happy if you could give this video some hype points. It really motivates me to create more videos like this. 16. Triton. Triton is a rebel. It orbits its planet, Neptune, the wrong way round, opposite to the rotation direction. This suggests it doesn't actually belong here and was captured. Here, cryovolcanoes shoot nitrogen gas 8 kilometers into the sky. The gravity is so low that a jump reaches 6.3 meters. You can easily jump onto the roof of a 2-story house. The flight lasts 8 seconds, but dress warmly. At minus 235 degrees, this is one of the coldest places we know. Here, nitrogen freezes and falls as snow. 17. Pluto. We're visiting the fallen hero. Pluto may only be a dwarf planet now, but it has a big heart. Literally, the Sputnik Planitia region is a gigantic glacier of nitrogen ice shaped like a heart. The gravity here is so weak that you jump almost 8 meters high. You are airborne for 10 seconds. You have plenty of time to look around and admire the barren landscape. In the sky, you see Charon, its huge moon, which is almost as big as Pluto itself. The two dance around each other. But here too, absolute mortal danger from cold and vacuum applies. 18. Ceres. Ceres is the largest object in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. It's a small gray sphere with mysterious bright salt spots in its craters. Here, we slowly leave familiar physics behind. A powerful jump gets you about 18 meters high here. That's equivalent to a 6-story apartment building. The jump lasts over 20 seconds. You rise slowly and sink back down even slower. You'd have enough time to eat a sandwich in the air if you could take off your helmet, which you obviously shouldn't do. 19. Enceladus. Enceladus is a small snow-white moon of Saturn. At the South Pole, there are cracks called tiger stripes, from which massive geysers shoot water into space. This water freezes instantly and forms Saturn's E-ring. The gravity here is tiny. You jump over 43 meters high. The whole process takes almost a minute. It feels less like jumping and more like an elevator ride. The danger here is tricky. If you get too close to the geysers and jump at a bad angle, the pressure of the fountain could catch you and shoot you directly into space. You would then end up as part of Saturn's ring. 20. Phobos. Our final station is Phobos, one of Mars' 2 moons. It's really just a captured pile of rubble that is getting closer and closer to Mars and will eventually break apart. Here, the line between jumping and space travel blurs. If you push off, you float an incredible 845 meters into the air. Mars hangs huge and threatening in the sky. But watch out! The escape velocity here is only 41 kilometers per hour. A really good athlete, or someone who takes a bit too much momentum, could accidentally push themselves completely off the moon and drift in space forever. Here, a jump is no longer fun, it's a risk.